Evening. First on News 2 at 6 o'clock, an overdose death led police to a huge stash of drugs, guns, and money found in the most unlikely of places.
This was recovered from a small church in North Baton Rouge. That right there, fentanyl in tens of thousands of dollars. 27-year-old Hakeem Allen has been arrested. News 2's Bess Casserly's live at the parish prison tonight.
Sylvia, Michael, Allen is here at Parish Prison on a $43,000 bond, which authorities say he may be able to make based on how much money they found at his residences.
According to the East Baton Rouge Sheriff's Office, this small neighborhood church on Page Street was also a hot spot for dealing dangerous drugs like fentanyl. After a months-long investigation, a drug task force narrowed in on 27-year-old Hakeem Allen, the son of the pastor at this ministry, Anthony Allen. Pastor Allen did not want to comment on his son's arrest on camera, but led us inside the church to see for ourselves that it really is a church and not a drug den. He doesn't believe his son was dealing out of his ministry, but according to WBRZ, undercover agents bought drugs from him at that location multiple times. Central Police Chief Roger Corcoran, whose officers work with the task force, says drug dealing like this is becoming more common.
A lot of these drug dealers, you find it's a trend now that they're moving into these areas where there's not as much traffic, to where they can do more. They can sell the drugs out of there, they can make their drugs there, and they have different things that they do at these locations, and they bring them into the inner city or throughout the city.
Investigators recovered 8 guns, $70,000 in cash, and various dangerous narcotics at 3 different locations that Allen was known to stay. They also believe Allen is responsible for selling drugs to a man who overdosed and died months earlier.
Of course, we've had numerous overdoses in the city of Central and across our community of Baton Rouge in a whole. And it's got to be dealt with, it's got to be combated. And this team, this task force, this fentanyl human trafficking task force, they're doing their best to combat it.
Allen did admit to authorities to owning at least one of the guns and some of the drugs, but he denies that he was selling them, despite authorities recovering some of the money they used in the undercover operations within his $70,000 stash. Reporting live at Parish Prison, Bess Casserly, WBRZ News 2.